Dr. Rima, we are live. Welcome to the Dr. Rima Truth Reports, the Unmasked Crusaders.
Thank you so much, Ralph. That's my co-host and co-trustee, Ralph Fusatola, trustee of what? Trustee of the Natural Solutions Foundation, of which I am the medical director, and Ralph is the legal director and member at large. The Natural Solutions Foundation is devoted to the idea, revolutionary though it may be, that you actually own your own body. Those who own their own bodies determine what goes into them, what doesn't go into them, what happens to them, what doesn't happen to them, and demand the right to have the information and the means to implement those decisions for health, for nutrition, for well being. Those who are not in charge of their own bodies go by a very simple and ancient term, slave. Take your pick. You're either a free person or you're a slave. Slave to whom? Slave to the corporate state fusion that we are all suffering under the burden of if we let ourselves or not. And so the Natural Solutions Foundation is dedicated to advancing and cementing your freedom to make determinations about what happens to you, your health freedom. You can join us by subscribing to our newsletter on any of our sites. And the site that I would direct you to first and foremost is our news aggregation site, opensourcetruth.com. We have contributors from all over the world, and we offer a wide variety of vitally important information that you will not find anywhere sponsored by the corporate state. We are very excited to have today a special and important guest. Alfred Lambremont Weber is an attorney who has a background in education as well, and he is as wide-minded as anyone that I know. He is an explorer in numerous areas, including the area of legal options for getting out from under the hegemony that is seeking to control our bodies, indeed seeking to control our very DNA, the hegemony that is fostering lies and crimes around the alleged COVID pandemic. I first met Alfred years and years and years ago, thousands of years ago, when he interviewed me and my husband in the context of health freedom, and then our paths diverged as we each went our own strange ways. And recently, he asked me and he asked Counsel Ralph to join him in a noble and I think a life-saving endeavor, which he's going to tell us about today. And both Ralph and I are judges on a tribunal which Alfred has created to bring the wrongs that we're currently suffering from to rights and to do something about them in practical terms as well as in information dissemination. And without that, frankly, we're doomed. It's that simple. Without that, the people who want to eliminate vast numbers of people from the planet and enslave the remnant will win. So what Alfred is doing is both noble and essential. And I want to welcome you to the Dr. Truth Reports. And I would like you to give your website first and foremost so that people can go there and take a deeper dive, if they'd like to, into the material that you are generating, and then tell us how you got here. Not necessarily here on Zoom, but how you, and live stream, but how you got to where you are with the tribunal and where the tribunal is going.
Sure. Well, this is we are the Natural and Common Law Tribunal for Public Health and Justice. And you can find us online at www.peaceinspace.org. That's peaceinspace.org. And um, we are uh, what's known as a tribunal of conscience, and that has a very specific role in the natural and common law and in the international law, and that is when there is an overarching matter of urgency, such as is occurring now in the what you can call the genocidal technologies pandemic, which is occurring, which is by no means uh, pandemic. And I say that as a person who has a certificate from the Harvard School of Public Health. So at least in the traditional uh, public health standards, it by no means qualifies as a pandemic or even as an epidemic. It is a genocidal technologies depopulation exercise, you could say, and we have proven it as a tribunal of conscience. And tribunal of consciences have a specific role in the law when the establishment courts and tribunals are failing to address a central problem like the genocidal technologies pandemic, which is occurring now, in which the world's courts have stalled out. The world's courts are still dealing with default